New York City Councilman Charles Barron. He's been a council member for a long time, community activist. He represents the 42nd Councilmatic District in Brooklyn, and he is running on the Freedom Party line. And I understand that you got some endorsements as well. I think, correct me if I'm wrong. Was it, forget just his name. What's the name? Old timers setting in on me, man. Lenora Falani, did she back your campaign?
Kinda, sorta.
Oh, kinda, sorta. Because she passed out an endorsement.
She said she's very, very supportive of us and
right.
gonna have her people, working for us, but her party has gone with, the other guy. I forget his name.
Yeah.
Right.
So does he.
Yeah.
So Charles, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Just give the audience a historical perspective. The Freedom Party is not a name that you came up with, quickly, but it has some historical significance.
Absolutely. Our sister Fannie Lou Hamer in 1964, for the same reason that was part of the emphasis of us starting the Freedom Party now, said that the Mississippi State Democratic Party that had an all-white state slate in 64, she said, I'm sick and tired of that. Enough is enough. She wants to be included, and she started the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party. The conditions were very similar. High rates of unemployment, crime in our communities, homelessness, similar conditions. So we built on that, and we looked at New York State and said it's similar to the conditions that were happening even in Mississippi at that time in terms of the masses of our people, not a few elected officials here and there, appointments here and there. But the thing that broke the proverbial camel's back was when the Democratic Party, and I think May, went to Rye, New York, and had an opportunity to diversify the slate. Governor Cuomo or Attorney General Cuomo could have picked as his gubernatorial partner the lieutenant governor, a Black and Latino person, and chose Robert Duffy. This completed the all-white state slate.
So the state slate, you're saying, is all white?
Well, the governor, white. The lieutenant governor, white. Gillibrand, Schumer, the two U.S. senators, white. DiNapoli, the state comptroller, white. The AG candidate, white. So the whole slate was white. He could have at least did the lieutenant governor.
What's interesting, and I'm glad you brought that up in responding to Brother Pickett's question, that you're not just talking about a Freedom Now party. Right. You're also including other ethnicities. That's very important. I think people think this is just a black thing.
Right.
No.
I'm glad you raised that. We're saying it's Black and Latino led. Every party in this state, whether they're left or Republicans and Democrats, or even if they have some blacks in some places here and there, are white, male-led. And we join them. No one says, hey, that's racist. How could you have a white-led party and what y'all could join? So we have always joined every other party. Matter of fact, we started historically right after slavery, joined the party of Lincoln, even though he didn't free any of us. And then from 1865 to about 1928, during the Great Depression, when the Republican Party started abandoning us after they did in 1877 with the compromise with Rutherford B. Hayes. Then in 1932, Franklin Delano Roosevelt came with no deal. That was the New Deal. And we joined the Democrats and have been there ever since. So now they take our vote for granted. They're going to say, where could you go? And they play the boogeyman tactic. Gotta stop Palladino. Mm-hmm. Gotta stop this one. Gotta stop that one. And they never start up for us. Mm-hmm. So when I'm looking at a situation in New York State with a $136 billion budget. New York City has a $63 billion budget. New York City's budget is larger than every African countries, every Caribbean countries, 48 states in the United States. We got a Democratic president, and you have a Democratic U.S. Senate, and you have a Democratic House of Representatives, you have a Democratic State Senate, you have a Democratic State Assembly, Democratic governor, and now 50% black male unemployment. We don't get the procurement contracts, less than 1% in the state, 5% less than that. Look at the conditions of our community, irrespective of which party gets in. So we're saying the Freedom Party represents leverage and or power. They said that to become an independent party, you have to get 15,000 signatures from 15 different congressional districts. We got 43,000 signatures from 23 out of the 29 different congressional districts. Palladino, and we had little or no money, Palladino had millions. He got 25,000 signatures. Cuomo didn't even have enough respect and all the other Democrats to go out there and get in the signature process. They just granted them the 25% and put them in place. So now, for the first time in the history, probably of this country, definitely of this state, we have a Black and Latino-led party. And by the way, progressive whites got us signatures. Some Asian brothers and sisters got us signatures.
Yeah, and it was all inclusive.
Native Americans got us signatures. And it's definitely the Black and Latino. So we got our sister Eva Doyle, who's in town. She's our lieutenant governor, Afrocentric educator out of Buffalo. Buffalo got us 3,000 signatures. And then Brother Ramon Jimenez, a Harvard-trained lawyer, former judge, and is our Latino representation. We have a diversified ticket. We had diversified signatures, and now we got to get some power.
How about that? All right, way to go. Now, the debate tomorrow is going to be where, and how many candidates do we have now?
We have 7 candidates. It's going to be at Hofstra University. It'll be at 7 p.m. And we've been arguing with some of the people at Hofstra because they really set it up to protect Cuomo. No opening statements.
Whoa.
1-minute response to questions. and no Latino person asking a question, an African-American woman and a white, and then 1 minute for closing statements. So they're really setting it up to protect Cuomo from any attacks. But, you know, this is not about Cuomo. It's about showing who would be the best. And straight up, brothers, I know people might have a hard time. Well, not everybody believe in this. I actually really would be the best governor. And I'll tell you why. Nobody on the ticket, none of the 7 ever passed a budget, because none of them are legislators. I passed 8 city budgets, voted against a couple of them when they weren't correct. No one on it, not the 2 candidates, Cuomo and Palladino. Here's the big question, Judge, that they have to answer. How will you balance the $14 billion projected deficit in this state? That's the number one question. Everything else is a bunch of talk. I don't care if you have a great website with 250 pages of documents. What are you going to do to balance that $14 billion budget? Palladino and Cuomo are almost exact on that. Forget his craziness for a moment. Both said they'll shrink government, cut it by 20%. Both said there'll be no new taxes. Both said that they're going to make the unions pay, particularly the public service employee unions. Yeah. And that means freezing wages, cutting pensions, taking money from the union health care. You got to stop the war on the workers. Here's my proposal. And this could really happen. We have a thing called the Pitt surcharge. I give David Patterson credit. He did increase the personal income tax of those who are making $250,000 or more by 1.5%. And we got $3.2 billion out of that. The mistake he made, or what he couldn't accomplish, was to progressively go up the ladder. If you go 1.5% from 250,000 to 500,000, 2.5% for those who are making 500,000 to $1 million, 3.5% $1 million, 4.5% 5 or more, 5.5% 10 or more. You get $8 to $12 billion. If you close corporate loopholes, the 35% write-off on their profits, make it 25%. Put the rest in the budget, hundreds of millions. A stock transfer tax. They're not going to shut down the stock market and go to Jersey. They're not going to do stocks on the line and you won't be able to tax them. Those are scare tactics. A stock transfer tax, get you billions. That package can get you anywhere from 12 to $18 billion. Wow. And listen, it will affect 63,000 people, less than 1% of the state's population. Why not? Why not do that? Then you can take a dedicated amount of that and put it into CUNY and get back to free tuition and free textbooks.